All right, so thinking about working as an aircraft assembler, pretty cool, right? And we've got something super helpful from RoleCatcher, this awesome guide. They lay out the whole career path, and it is seriously detailed.
Yeah, they really did their homework.
For real. Okay, so close your eyes for a sec. Imagine this. You're surrounded by this, like, intense smell of metal and jet fuel. You hear tools clanging, machinery humming all around you.
That was like you're standing on the tarmac.
Exactly. That's the everyday world of an aircraft assembler.
It's a powerful thing to witness. And you're not just like building something, you're building these incredible machines that can actually fly.
Right. Defying gravity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that means every single part has to be absolutely perfect. Every bolt, every rivet, every system. We're talking about safety at 30,000 feet. It's a huge responsibility.
Okay, so let's break it down a bit. What kind of stuff does an aircraft assembler actually do every day? I'm picturing tons of tools, maybe some seriously big machines.
You got it. Think hand tools, power tools, all that.
Yeah.
But it's also high tech. Computer-controlled machines, CNC machines, even robots are becoming more common in the industry now. It's pretty wild.
Wow. So you're not just like putting together a desk from IKEA?
No, no, no. We're talking about real craftsmanship mixed with cutting-edge technology. It's a trip.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's way more than just assembling. You're fitting parts, you're installing complex systems, troubleshooting.
It's like a puzzle, but a million times more complicated.
Exactly.
We're talking flight controls, rigging, the whole thing, right?
The whole shebang.
Yeah.
And speaking of complicated, those blueprints.
Oh, yeah. I bet those are intense. So reading those is a huge part of the job, too.
Huge. Imagine these massive diagrams,
Yeah.
right? You're tracing fuel lines, electrical systems, understanding how each little piece fits into the bigger picture.
I can't even imagine.
It's like a different language.
You need some serious spatial reasoning skills for that.
Absolutely. You got to be able to see how it all comes together in 3 dimensions in your head. One wrong bolt, one misplaced wire.
And it could be disastrous.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure. So not just anyone can do this. It sounds like you need insane attention to detail and obviously a love for aviation.
For sure.
Speaking of which, how's the job market looking for aircraft assemblers? Is this a career that's, taking off?
It really seems like it. Based on RoleCatcher's research, the job outlook is looking really positive.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? It's a pretty stable career path. Even when the economy isn't doing so hot, people still need planes, right?
That's true. For travel, shipping, even defense, planes are essential.
Exactly. So yeah, it's surprisingly stable.
Wow, so it's exciting. A&D stable. Not a bad combo. But let's be real, no job's perfect. What about the downsides? What does RoleCatcher say about the less glamorous parts of aircraft assembly?
Yeah, you got to keep your feet on the ground even when you're building stuff that flies. RoleCatcher's honest about the physical demands. It's tough. Long hours on your feet, sometimes in tight spaces.
Yeah, you're not exactly kicking back in an ergonomic office chair.
Right, and you're often lifting heavy parts, using all those tools. Safety's crucial.
Makes sense. So what about the pace? Is it pretty steady, or are there times when you're racing against deadlines?
It really depends, to be honest. Could be a massive commercial airliner, takes months to build, or a smaller specialized plane, much faster turnaround.
So some late nights, weekend shifts, maybe?
Could happen, yeah, especially during crunch time.
Gotcha. So not just being skilled, but also adaptable, good under pressure, important stuff. But even with all that, there's got to be this incredible feeling, building something that flies, like you're part of this huge engineering feat.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher talks about the pride, the sense of accomplishment you get, this thing you help build, soaring through the air, connecting people. That's pretty amazing when you think about it.
More than just a job, for sure. Okay, so say someone's listening and they're totally hooked, they want to dive right in. What's the usual career path look like?
Well, you usually start with entry-level positions, learn from the pros, get those basic skills down. But as you gain experience, you can start to specialize.
Oh, specializations, like a...
Could be a specific type of aircraft, commercial, military, maybe even those fancy private jets.
Oh, very cool.
Right? Or you could become an expert in a specific assembly process, like fuselage assembly, wing construction, systems integration.
So you could be the person for landing gear systems or the intricacies of a fighter jet cockpit. That's so cool.
It's amazing. And that kind of expertise, that can lead to leadership roles down the road.
Right, because you've got that specialized knowledge. So team leader overseeing a group of assemblers.
Exactly. Or if you get some extra training, maybe certifications, you could even move into quality control, making sure every aircraft meets those super high standards.
That's huge responsibility. Talk about pressure.
It is.
Hmm.
And some assemblers, they even move into engineering or design roles, bringing that hands-on experience to the drawing board.
Wow. So many options. But it sounds like you really need to be a lifelong learner in this field, right? You can't just coast once you've learned the basics.
Totally. RoleCatcher really stresses that. Professional development is key.
Yeah.
Industry conferences, specialized training courses, certifications. Got to stay on top of your game.
Especially with aerospace technology changing so rapidly.
Exactly. Composite materials, avionics, all that stuff is constantly evolving.
It's like that saying, learn something new every day, but in this case, it's more like learn something new about aerospace engineering every day. Okay, so we've talked about the job outlook, the day-to-day, the career paths. Now let's get practical. For someone listening who's ready to jump in, what are some tips from RoleCatcher on actually landing that first job?
Hands-on experience is crucial. Internships, apprenticeships, anything like that. Even if it's volunteering at an aviation museum or working on personal projects that show off your mechanical skills.
Show those employers what you're capable of.
Yeah. It's not just about having it on your resume, it's about showing that passion.
What about putting together a portfolio?
Oh, that's a great idea. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just highlight your attention to detail, how you work, how you follow instructions.
So if you've built model airplanes, restored an old car, even assembled furniture perfectly, that all counts.
For sure. Photos, videos, even just writing out descriptions of the process, the problems you solved.
It's like telling your story, but through your work.
Exactly. And speaking of putting yourself out there, networking is key.
Oh yeah, gotta network.
RoleCatcher suggests industry events, professional organizations, even LinkedIn.
Right, you never know who you'll meet.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've got the skills, you've got your portfolio, you're networking, and bam, you land an interview. What should you be ready for? What kind of questions are they going to ask? Yeah, the interview. It's like you got your foot in the door. Now you got to really wow them. Does RoleCatcher give any advice on that? Like what to expect?
They do. They have a whole section on interview questions, super helpful. Be prepared to talk about why you love aviation.
Of course. Makes sense.
Yeah, what got you interested in the field,
Hmm.
why aircraft assembly specifically.
They want to see that pack.
Exactly. Passion goes a long way, but they'll definitely want to make sure you've got the technical chops too.
Right, of course.
Be ready to talk about tasks you've actually done, tools you're familiar with.
Safety procedures, all that.
Yep. They might even throw some problem solving at you. Like, what if you found a mistake on a blueprint, what would you do?
Oh, interesting. So you can't just be good at following directions. You need to be able to think for yourself.
Exactly. Critical thinking is key.
Makes sense. Anything else they might ask?
They'll probably ask about teamwork,
Mhm.
how you handle deadlines, stress, all that.
Aircraft assembly is a team effort, for sure.
Absolutely. It's like a well-oiled machine, everyone working together.
So important.
Mm.
Okay, any final words of wisdom from RoleCatcher for our aspiring assemblers?
They really emphasize staying positive, being enthusiastic, showing that you're eager to learn and grow in the role. This field changes so fast.
Always something new to learn.
Exactly.
Love it. Well, we have covered a ton in this deep dive. From the everyday tasks of an aircraft assembler to the amazing career paths you can take.
It's an incredible field.
It really is. So for everyone listening, as you start your journey, remember this. It's a career that takes precision, it's challenging, but the reward of building these incredible machines.
Machines that fly.
Exactly, there's nothing else like it. So what do you picture yourself building? A fighter jet, massive cargo plane, maybe even a spaceship to Mars. Who knows?
The sky's the limit.
The sky's the limit. And remember, RoleCatcher has your back with tons of info to help you along the way. Good luck out there.